So this is going to be a quick little video showing you how to add a really nifty little planing stop to the end of your workbench. I've used a couple different types of planing stops, mainly like a bench hook style that hooks on the edge, and you have a piece on the end that catches the board and you can plane this way. But this one is really cool because it's adjustable up and down. So if you got something thicker, you can have more sticking up, or if you got real thin stuff that you're planing, you can just barely have this sticking up above the edge of your bench and still be able to capture it and plane it. It's one of the common problems that I've encountered is planing thin stuff. You got to have kind of specialized stuff to be able to plane thin stock. So this should be pretty cool and very easy to install. I'll bring you in and show you all the hardware that you need. Okay, so what you're going to need is some kind of wood. I'm using 1/2-inch plywood here. You could, I guess, use hardwood if you wanted to. You could use 3/4-inch plywood. And you're going to need some threaded inserts. These are 1/4-20 thread inserts. Some corresponding bolts. These are 1/4-20 by 1.5-inch bolts. Some wing nuts and washer. And these are going to get assembled like this. So your threaded insert will be in the bench. You will thread your bolt. Easier said than done, huh? Thread your bolt in, have your washer next, wing nut. So how this is going to work, this will be through the piece like this, and I'm going to drill a hole and slot down on the bottom. So you can tighten this up on here using the wing nut and hold it in position, loosen it, and shift it back down. So I've laid out roughly on one edge where I want my slot to be, and I'll just mark over here on the other edge. And I've marked roughly the center of the piece of wood here. And you just got to make sure that whenever it's down, it is below the top surface of your bench, just because you don't want it getting in the way of anything that might overhang. So I'll check and make sure this is right, and then drill and cut some slots. Okay, so I've got my locations laid out here. I moved them up slightly more than halfway, just because I'm not going to need to stick this up very high above the bench. So the more rigid you can keep it, the better. So, and I've just placed these so that they don't fall on one of the seams of the top. So I had to shift this one over a little bit. This was a mistake. So I'm going to drill my holes here, and then I'll just use a handsaw to cut the slots here. And there you have it. So you can see here how the setup is screwed into those inserts. So you can tighten it down while you're not using it. It's not going to go anywhere. You want to plane something, loosen it up, raise the whole thing up a bit, cinch it down, and that's actually a lot more solid than I thought it was going to be. Very, very strong. I did have to plane this end down a little bit. It stuck up a little bit, so just had to run the hand plane over it a bit and plane it down. So I'll probably plane it down a little bit more just to make sure. Take a few passes there, and now it should sit just below the bench top. Very nice. I don't really have anything to show it off planing, so let's see if this will work. This will be a pretty decent test. We'll raise it up a pretty good bit here, and we got some of these cherry offcuts on my bench. We'll see how tippy this is. But there you go. Works very well. So there you have it. Nice easy planing stop. Works very well. Very strong. When you don't need it, just stows out of the way, right off the end of your bench. You never see it. So yeah, nice quick little project you can knock out in, I don't know, 10 minutes. Very cheap. You could use just some scrap, which is what this was, just a scrap piece of plywood, and not very much money in hardware. It works awesome. Super easy to adjust. Like I said, you could just barely raise it up. If you were doing thinner stock, you could raise it up just, you know, like a 1/16 of an inch, just enough to give you a lip for something. And I mean, that's very, very strong. And really, the less you raise it up, the stronger it's going to be. So you really don't need that much of a lip there, because the higher you bring it up, the more it's going to want to pivot. So yeah, nice quick project. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, we'll see you in the next video.